Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to the third Facebook event live of the Joint Pain Relief System. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Suzie Foreman, and along with my husband, Andre Gordon, we are the founders of the Joint Pain Relief System. And this is a program for people with hip and knee osteoarthritis. And in as little as 2 months, you can see less pain, less need for medication, and improvements in your strength and function. Now, today, because as you all know, arthritis is inflammation, today I have with me Dr. Robert Floyd. And Dr. Robert Floyd is double board certified by the American Academy of Family Physicians and the Institute for Functional Medicine. He's a member of the American Academy for Anti-Aging Medicine and the Paleo Physicians Network. Dr. Floyd believes in lifelong learning and continuing medical education, empowering his medical knowledge daily so he can share the most up-to-date information with his patients. He has extensive training in functional medicine, family medicine, emergency medicine, trauma surgery, and critical care, and has been working as an integrative physician, a hospitalist, and emergency medicine physician over the past 10 years, including holding the position of medical director for more than 3 years. Dr. Floyd's interest in integrative medicine modalities began in Boulder, Colorado. With its progressive community, Boulder is a bastion of integrative and complementary medicine. It was there he first learned the power of acupuncture and herbal medicine to heal injuries sustained as a rock climbing guide. It was there that he also began his early medical career, becoming an EMT and working as a professional ski patroller. When not participating in medicine, or when not practicing medicine, Dr. Floyd enjoys riding dirt bikes, making music, skiing, and working on his ranch with his wife. He's also on the path to a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Dr. Floyd, welcome. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you, Suzie. Thank you very much. Nice introduction. I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here. I'm honored that you would have me on your program to kind of pick my brain. And, you know, like you said, arthritis is an inflammatory process, and we can reduce that.
Yes, it is very much an inflammatory process. And I'm very interested in what you are doing and talking about the leaky gut solution, talking about the gut microbiome. For me, it's only probably been the last 3 to 5 years that I've kind of heard about it. It's just come on my radar recently. And whole body inflammation is something else that has recently come on my radar. So Robert, why don't you start with just telling us what is the gut microbiome?
The gut microbiome, there's kind of 2 words, microbiome and microbiota. Microbiota is the term of the actual bacteria living in your guts. And when I say your guts, I mean from your mouth all the way to your bottom. Most of it is in the small intestine and large intestine. And the microbiota is the actual bacteria, and the microbiome is the bacteria and all of their genetic makeup. Okay. And so over the course of, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, millions of years, as we've evolved, we are basically just a large transport for bugs. Okay. The microbiota, I call it the microbiome. I think it's interchangeable, but sort of kind of not really, but we'll just call it the microbiome. It's all the bugs in your gut. Okay. So you have about 6 kilograms of bugs living in your intestines. Okay. Think about that. In English speak American, US American, that's about 13, 14, almost 15 pounds of bugs.
Okay.
If I were to slice you in half and then take an ice cream scooper of the insides, including your intestines,
right,
more than 90% of the DNA genetic material that I could expose from that is not you. It is actual from the microbiome. It's the microbiome. There's also a fungal biome and a viral biome as well. Okay. So basically, we are more bug than human, which is really weird. And we have a microbiome everywhere. We have a microbiome on our skin. We have a microbiome in our eyes, in our ears, the vaginal canal, And anywhere that there's an interface, we have bugs. Okay, these
Right.
bugs are commensal. The term commensal means that they help us and we don't really help them in any way. Okay, they actually help us by making our health better in many different ways. Our microbiome is responsible for improving stress management, mental and emotional health, immunity and genetics, sleep, exercise, and actually even including diet. So the microbiome is all the bugs living in your intestines. The gut microbiome is all the
Right.
bugs living in your intestines. Okay. And unfortunately, they can become dysbiotic, means there's an imbalance or an alteration of the microbiome. And, over the course of, hundreds of thousands of years, millennia of evolution, these bugs have really been designed to help us grow, okay, to help us thrive, to be healthy. Okay, your microbiome is going to be different than my microbiome.
Right.
Your microbiome, funnily enough, is probably very similar to your husband's, because you guys, you kiss, you sleep in the same bed, you eat the same foods, right?
You think so?
Well, I hope so. But like my microbiome is probably more similar to my wife's than it would be to yours. Okay.
Right.
And so, and one of the ways that we get inoculated with the microbiome is through birth, through vaginal birth. And so when you come through the birth canal, the woman's vaginal microbiome inoculates the babies, right? Then you get all these bugs on your eyeballs, in your mouth, on your skin. And these bugs are really, truly essential for good health.
Wow.
And when you disrupt the balance of the bugs, that's when you can start to see poor health. And, this is, if you did a literature review search, let's say in 1980 about gut microbiome, maybe there was, 1,500 papers. And if you did a literature review search today on PubMed, which is our national repository of health papers and research papers, you would probably see like 25,000 papers this year alone written on the microbiome.
Yeah, because like I said, for me, it's probably the last 3 to 5 years that I keep hearing more and more and more about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So so tons of bugs. What did you say? 15 pounds, 15 kilograms?
6 kilograms, about almost 15 pounds of bugs in our guts.
Okay. So then what is the leaky gut syndrome? What is that?
That's a whole different ball game. But the microbiome, the dysbiosis, the imbalance of these bugs can lead or increase intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. Now, leaky gut, like I normally like to draw a picture. Leaky gut. Okay, imagine the inside lining of your intestines is 1 cell thick. Okay,
right.
It's called the brush border. It's got a ton of little microvilli cells like this, right? And these microvilli cells they have the microvilli with little finger-like projections for increased surface area and increased absorption, nutrient absorption.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So when these microvilli cells get damaged, they end up falling, like tearing apart like this. Okay. It's called the brush border. Okay. It's a border. Any border is to let good things in and keep the bad things out. Correct?
Right. Right.
So these, my hands, imagine each hand is an individual microvilli cell, endothelium cell in the intestines. Okay. So they have the brush borders, they're wiggling, they're taking up nutrients. They're connected by a protein called zonulin. Okay. So when you eat certain foods or you drink alcohol or you take antibiotics and the microbiome is disrupted, there's plenty of things that can disrupt and cause leaky gut. But what happens is the food and material is supposed to go through these cells. Okay.
Right.
So through the cell into the bloodstream. What happens is oftentimes by the standard American diet, and the most egregious effector of leaky gut is, I'm going to say, gluten. Okay.
Okay.
And, gluten has kind of a bad rap to it. And I would agree with it, because America's standard American diet is full of gluten, full of processed foods, full of toxins, full of, things, chemicals that really disrupt the intestinal epithelial cells. So what happens is these cells, they get torn apart like this. Okay.
Right.
And instead of the food coming through the cell and going through the hand as a cell into the bloodstream,
Right.
stuff will, toxins, bugs, food, dirt, you name it, whatever you eat goes through and can actually go through in between the cells right here and get into the bloodstream. And that is called intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. And like I said, I draw a picture in my clinic over and over and over and over. If I've drawn it once, I've drawn it 1,000 times. And this is the whole reason why I developed my leaky gut solution program, because it's my humble opinion that this intestinal permeability, leaky gut, it leads to enormous generalized inflammation. So, and in this picture I draw, you can see it on Dr. Floyd's leaky gut solution on YouTube. It's called Leaky Gut for Dummies. It's a great picture, and a picture is a billion words, because like I said, I draw it in my clinic and I just see the light bulb going off over people's heads. And I'm like, so you understand, right? And they're like, absolutely. So what happens is when you have this, you get decreased nutrient absorption. That's the first thing, by having intestinal permeability. You then, because you have all these foreign bodies in your cardiovascular system, you then get generalized inflammation, because your immune system is on high alert, and your immune system is saying, well, what the heck is all this stuff in the bloodstream that's not supposed to be there?
Right.
And because of that, there's a thing called molecular mimicry, because your immune system is overactive, high alert. Your immune system can then look at self cells, your thyroid cells, your beta cells in your pancreas, which secrete insulin, your kidney cells, your muscle cells, your tissue cells, your eye cells, you name it. When your immune system is on high alert, it can go bonkers. And basically, from a thing called molecular mimicry, it says, hey, you know what? All those little foreign bodies that we've attached and attacked in the bloodstream, those thyroid cells look kind of like that. So they go and attack the thyroid cells.
Hashimoto's.
They start killing the own thyroid cells. They could do the same thing with all the other cells that I mentioned. You get, Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroiditis, you get autoimmune pancreatitis, you get autoimmune kidney disease, you get autoimmune, muscle disease, you get autoimmune skin rashes, all sorts of bad stuff. And so now you have, because of the leaky gut and the generalized inflammation and your immune system on high alert, you now get autoimmune disease. If you look at the prevalence of autoimmune disease in the United States, and I'm sure it's pretty similar in Canada, autoimmune disease has skyrocketed in the last 40 years. And
actually, I'm pretty sure both Andre and I are from Jamaica, and autoimmune diseases in Jamaica seem much more rampant. I don't have stats, but I just know many more people in Jamaica with lupus and rheumatoid arthritis than I ever get exposed to in Canada.
Really?
So something's going on there. I'm not sure what it is, right?
Well, in order to have an autoimmune disease, you have to have three things. And this is learning that I got from the Institute for Functional Medicine, a guy named Dr. Jeffrey Bland. He's brilliant. He's the godfather of functional medicine. Right. You have to have three things. And without all three of these things, basically autoimmune disease won't exist. You have to have a genetic predisposition, which you can't change. But you also have intestinal permeability and a trigger. Okay, you cannot change your genetic predisposition. Right. But you can heal leaky gut, and you can take away the trigger. If you take away any one of those three legs of the stool, autoimmune disease will go away. And I've had tremendous success helping people get rid of their psoriatic arthritis, their rheumatoid arthritis.
Interesting.
People absolutely are blown away by the improvements in their skin, their joint pains, you name it. It's great. So
great.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know. So you mentioned that word because, of course, gluten. All right. I try my best to stay away. I'm not 100%, but I certainly try my best to stay away from gluten as best as I can. Other than gluten, I'm just curious, dairy. I know a lot of naturopaths, a lot of medical practitioners aren't fond of dairy. How do you feel about dairy, or what do you think about dairy?
Well, I used to, my wife and I used to eat like cheese and crackers, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week as a pre-dinner snack,
Right.
I pretty much recommend to everybody at this point in my program for 12 weeks, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. Okay. If all of your clients change that and go gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free for, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks,
Right.
their health will improve dramatically. Cow dairy, bovine dairy it has, I was just listening to another podcast with either Gundry or Perlmutter or Bredesen, one of them. Cow dairy, yes, it's high in protein. It's very, very high in protein, but the rest of it is not good for you. And most cows in America are fed antibiotics. Okay. And they're full of hormones, and, dairy farms are not healthy places. The cattle there are, it's disgusting, frankly. When I do eat dairy now, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. Every once in a while, I will eat some cow dairy, but it's recommended that you eat sheep or goat dairy. And they have, one of the things about dairy is that there's casein A and casein B. There's a whole bunch of other peptides in dairy that some of them are good for you. Most of them are not. But casein A, I believe, is from cow dairy, is actually addictive. It actually attaches to the opioid receptors in your brain, and it triggers a dopamine hit, right?
Okay.
So that's one reason why, cheese, people love cheese. People love ice cream. Ice cream.
I can live without the ice cream, but I do like cheese, right?
No, if you're going to be eating cheese, I highly recommend goat cheese, sheep cheese. It has casein B in it.
Yeah, we eat feta. We do eat a lot of goat and sheep feta.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
but I could also get, I guess, Chev, I can never pronounce it.
Chevra.
Right? Okay. But then I have a question. If dairy is so bad, but when it comes to the microbiome and the gut, I thought people were raving about yogurt and kefir.
Yeah. For sure. The cultured products like that are good. One of the things about the microbiome is, yogurt has a bunch of probiotics. I do not eat yogurt. It's usually full of sugar. If I eat yogurt today, it's either coconut yogurt, almond yogurt, something like that. It's a non-animal based yogurt.
But does that have probiotics?
It does. Yep. Anything can have probiotics added to them. One of the things about probiotics is you're not going to completely change your microbiome by taking probiotics. And one of the things that I recommend first before you take probiotics is that you heal your gut first, because like I said, remember, if you have leaky gut and you take a bunch of probiotics, where are they going to go? Right into your bloodstream.
Go right through those holes. Right.
Yep. And then now you've got a bunch of probiotics in your bloodstream. Okay.
Right.
They've done studies that show, you can take a whole bunch of probiotics and think that you're going to really change the microbiome constitution of your gut. But once you stop taking those, it goes back to whatever it is.
Right.
So
you always have to be taking.
Exactly. But or you change your probiotics by introducing other things, and you do that with food as well. You feed your guts with fiber and other foods. The best way to increase your diversity of the microbiome is to eat a diversity of food. Right. So most Americans eat about 12 foods in their diet.
Thankfully, I've got a very curious, it doesn't help too much when it comes to weight, but I've got a very curious, open mind when it comes to food and ethnic food and that kind of stuff. Which brings me to a point. Kimchi. I've started eating more kimchi and sauerkraut. Now, should I buy pasteurized?
No.
Okay, so I should buy what's in the refrigerated section.
100%. Actually, what you should do is you should make it yourself.
Yes, I know. I did see your video. I did see your
Yeah,
video. But if I'm the next step, if I'm not going to make it myself, is the refrigerated section.
correct. Absolutely 100%. Yeah, when it's pasteurized, it kills the bugs, right?
That okay. So that's what I'd heard before, but then I saw something else. I can't remember exactly that told me that the refrigerated one, something, something, something.
Yeah,
But I'd read that if it was pasteurized, it kills the bugs.
yeah.
Okay. Now let me see. I'm going to test my knowledge a little bit. It's probably a very small amount, but some of the things that I've heard that are probiotic or have a lot of probiotics: yogurt, obviously cultured yogurt, kefir. I can never pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, that's
Kefir,
correct. Yep.
right? Kimchi, sauerkraut. I've heard that aged cheddar.
Mm-hmm. And
Mhm.
also Gouda.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Gouda has a
Okay.
really good casein and also probiotics in it as well.
Okay. And then dark chocolate.
I don't know about probiotics, but they have lots. Dark chocolate has lots of phytonutrients and a lot of minerals, which are
Oh,
great.
okay.
You know,
Okay.
when I recommend dark chocolate to people, it's got to be greater than 70% cacao,
Yes.
because otherwise it's just full of sugar. You know, you
Right.
eat a Hershey's bar, it's nothing but sugar and maybe like I don't even know the percentage of cacao, and it's
Right.
despicable.
Right.
But I mean, I'll eat dark chocolate. I eat it like, I'll have like a square or two at night for dessert.
Yep.
It's very
Yep.
satiating. It's very delicious, and it tickles that sweet tooth that you need.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I'll have dark chocolate baking chips with raspberries,
Perfect. Yeah,
right? As a
absolutely.
nice sweet tooth at the end of the day.
Yep.
Okay. And then for prebiotics, some of the things I've heard: asparagus, which I love, which Andre hates, right? Green onions, garlic. What else came in as
Inulin,
prebiotic? Sorry, what was that?
inulin,
What's that?
artichokes. It's a plant fiber. It's found in like chicory and things like that. Um,
Okay.
and people get really confused with prebiotics versus probiotics versus postbiotics. So probiotics are the actual bacteria.
Right.
Okay. Prebiotics are insoluble fibers that
Right.
your bacteria in your gut, they actually eat and
Right.
digest, and then, for a better word, fart out byproducts. And those
Right.
byproducts are super, super important for your gut health.
Right.
The byproducts are short chain fatty acids, butyrate, acetate, propionate. Butyrate is a huge, markedly important short chain fatty acid that helps feed the lining of your cells. They also, their byproducts of feeding the bacteria are precursors to neurotransmitters, dopamine,
Right.
epinephrine, serotonin.
Mental health.
Absolutely. And so, the gut microbiome plays a huge role in mental health. One thing that people don't understand is that, the 90% of the serotonin in your body is in your gut. Okay. It's not in
Right.
your brain. And in fact, more of the serotonin travels from your gut to your brain up the vagus nerve. Okay.
Right.
And so these are, it really, really plays a huge role in mental health. And so when you feed the probiotics, which are the bacteria,
Right.
when you
Right.
feed them prebiotics, which are
Right.
the food that feeds the bacteria, they produce postbiotics, which are the short chain
Got it.
fatty acids,
Yep.
the
Got it.
neurotransmitter precursors and things like that. And, a lot of the fiber, when you eat fiber, it's very, very important that you eat enough fiber. Unfortunately, the standard American diet provides about 13 grams of fiber a day.
And for women, I believe it's what, 25 to 30 grams?
25 to 30. And for men, it's 35 to 40. So I just say 38. I say men should be getting 40 grams of fiber a day. Women should be getting 30 grams of fiber a day. That is very, very difficult to do. Okay. And one of the best ways I do it is what I like, the sauerkraut. I make my own sauerkraut, and it gives me prebiotics and probiotics together. Sauerkraut's awesome. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing for your health. Or kimchi, because
right. Okay. So I was going to go, so a sauerkraut better than kimchi, or is it just the
It's the
same thing
same
by
thing.
different cultures?
Same thing. Yeah. It's different cultures, same thing. You
Because
know,
I like
back
the
in-
spice in the kimchi.
I do too. I love it. Yeah. I'm not afraid of it. I like spicy food. You know, one of the things that people don't understand is that sauerkraut has 16 times the amount of vitamin C in it, because the bugs that are
Ah.
actually fermenting the cabbage, that's one of the byproducts as well. So,
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well, like I said, I've added kimchi and sauerkraut to my not quite daily, I say every second day routine.
mhm.
I got kefir the other day, and I'm just trying to introduce more and more healthy stuff. Now, you were saying that it's very difficult to get the fiber, but Andre and I eat quite a bit of vegetables. I've taken to having veggies and dip with breakfast. I'm trying to have a salad before lunch, and then we have veggies with our main meal as well. And according to my fitness, what is it called? What, I can't remember. Fitness tracker. I think I'm getting into the fiber range, but I did get Metamucil. I haven't opened it. Do you recommend supplementing fiber or just eat?
Absolutely. If you can, you know, the first tenet of functional medicine is fix the gut. The second tenet is food first. So
Right.
food first, if you can.
Okay.
You would have to eat. I mean, if you are really good at eating vegetables and lots of vegetables, then you might be close to the recommended number of grams of fiber per day, but it's hard to eat that much. And a lot of people actually, they get gas and bloating when they eat too much. One of the things I like is chia seeds. Chia seeds.
Oh, yes. I've started using them.
5 grams of fiber per tablespoon. So you put 2 tablespoons. One of my favorite meals is chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of that, 1.5, whatever, doesn't matter. And then maybe some almond yogurt and blueberries and raspberries. And the blueberries and raspberries also have
a lot of fiber.
A lot of fiber as well.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a full-on fiber bomb right there. And the blueberries and raspberries have a bunch of phytonutrients, anthocyanins, all these plant products. The colorful plant products are what really improve your health. Okay. And again, it's diversity, right?
Yes. I'm trying to eat the rainbow. I have a really great recipe that I found the other day, a rainbow salad. And then we put shirataki. We really like shirataki noodles. I'm not sure how you feel about peanuts. I know some people aren't.
No, absolutely not.
So almonds. So I should use almond butter for the dressing instead.
Yes, absolutely. Peanuts are legumes. I'm not saying all legumes are bad. In my program, I avoid them for my clients, and then, try to introduce them back. But peanuts specifically, a lot of people don't know this, but peanuts are bioaccumulators. Let's say that in your backyard, you had an oil spill. Okay.
Right.
You can plant a whole bunch of peanuts. You can cover your backyard with peanuts. What they're going to do is they're going to soak up all that oil. You then dig them up, throw them out in a dump. And guess what? All that oil that was spilled in your backyard is now gone. So there's a couple things with peanuts that I'm not really fond of. They're legumes, and they can poke holes in the gut, and they're bioaccumulators. So, most peanuts today, unless they're completely organic, are going to be full of pesticides and fertilizers because they're bioaccumulators, right? So it's not good for you. I recommend people avoid peanuts. You don't.
So then so for instance, that dressing, so this rainbow salad is good. It's got cabbage, red peppers, cilantro, spinach, carrots. So then you suggest maybe I substitute almond butter.
100%. Yep. Almond butter, any other nut butter. But yeah, I recommend people avoid. I don't eat peanuts ever. I haven't eaten peanuts for years and years and years.
I'm going to be making some changes. This is all very good. Okay. I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but I do have a few questions. These are actually now not from me, but from a client of mine. So, you know how some people get a coating on their tongue? She's asking if that has anything to do with your gut.
That could. It's a lot of different things. It could be like a fungal overgrowth. It could be, it depends on what it looks like, how thick it is. But yeah, if you have a coating on your tongue, it's you got something going on in your guts, most likely.
Right.
Probably a dysbiosis maybe a little bit over fungal of one form of fungus than the other. And like I said, we all have funguses in us as well.
Right.
You know,
right. It's just the balance.
It's exactly, you got to balance that. I would recommend that she see like a naturopathic doctor for that.
Okay.
And then maybe they would probably put her on or him on a, you know, an elimination diet, or maybe try to, you know, they might be like, here, take this, you know, herbal medicine.
Right.
We'll get rid of it. You know, the tongue and in functional medicine, the physical exam can show us a lot in functional medicine, you know, tongue swelling, tongue coatings, tongue, the depths of the papillae on the tongue.
Now, this is almost getting into Chinese medicine.
It is. Yeah. I mean, you know, Western medicine, I can't bag on it too much. I mean, as much as I want to me, it's Band-Aids on severed limbs. Thank God we have ERs. Thank God we have certain things. Thank God we have some antibiotics for acute illnesses. But Chinese medicine is, you know, we have to look at everything. We have to look at the person as a whole. And we have, you know, there's a reason that there's Chinese medicine. There's a reason that there's Ayurvedic medicine. There's a reason that, you know, all these cultures know a lot of things about how to be healthy, how to, once they're not feeling well or some sort of sickness, they know how to fix it. I'm all about complementary and integrative medicine. And that's, you know, it's, and
mind, body, soul, the whole works. Absolutely. It is one system.
Yeah, we are not just, that's what I don't like about medicine. They've isolated systems. You have a cardiologist, you have a nephrologist, you have, you know, a dermatologist, you have blah, 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 blah. It's like, whoa, dude, whoa.
They're all connected.
It's all connected. This is one big giant, we're one big organism that all these systems are connected. And when one gets out of whack, it can send the other ones out of whack as well. I
agree. Okay. So from the same client, what are the signs of a healthy gut?
Healthy skin, healthy hair, healthy emotions, good mind-body connection, an optimal weight. The signs of an unhealthy gut, I can tell you, they're, you know, it's psoriasis, it's rheumatoid arthritis, it's obesity, it's poor skin, it's poor hair, it's brain fog, it's joint pains, it's again, obesity. That is a sign of a healthy gut or of an unhealthy gut. It's diabetes, it's high blood pressure, it's, you know, all of the other chronic disease, it's cardiovascular disease. The gut, you know, is the core of us. If your gut's sick, guess what? You're going to be sick.
You're going to be sick.
You know, one of the things that, you know, I don't like about Western medicine is that, you know, they say, oh, well, you have high blood pressure, take these medications, it'll fix high blood pressure, or you have diabetes, or you have heart disease. You know, those aren't diseases. And
they're signs of.
Exactly. They're signs of metabolic distress inside your body. And you just taking a pill to get rid of high blood pressure is doing absolutely jack.
It's your Band-Aid, like you said.
Yeah, it's not helping you. It's
similar in physio. Like, you know, for instance, this morning I was talking to a client and she's got lateral hip pain, and a lot of doctors will say, well, she's got bursitis, and they'll inject cortisone into the bursa, but they're not really getting at the cause. They've just settled down the inflammation in the bursa, but what caused it? And what's generally causing it is tightness of the piriformis muscles, the IT band, iliotibial, kind of frictioning over it. And if you don't loosen that and get rid of that, and what's causing that, you will forever have that bursitis, right? So it's a Band-Aid. So yeah, you got to get at the cause.
Absolutely.
Okay, this has been interesting. I really enjoyed this. One last question. Actually, no, sorry, I lied. Not quite one last question. What are some simple steps to good health? You mentioned get rid of dairy, wheat, and what was the last one?
Sugar,
right. Okay, so, and when you say sugar, obviously not sugar in fruit, but no added sugar.
Exactly. No added sugar, no high fructose corn syrup, no artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners, sucralose, most people don't know this, but this was discovered when they were trying to make another pesticide. Okay. So like I said, we have all these bugs in our guts. When you make a pesticide, what's it do? It kills bugs in your guts.
Right.
Then what? Then you get dysbiosis. Then you get, health diseases. And so, some of the things to improve your gut health is gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. And it doesn't have to be for life. It's got to be for a while to let your gut heal. Okay?
Right. Right.
Eat the rainbow,
Right.
one thing I tell my clients is like, hey, listen, if you're only eating 12 to 15 to 20 foods every week, you need to improve that. You need to go, go by the native, go by the, Indian store,
Right.
pick up some Indian spices that you've never
Right.
had.
Right.
Go buy, maybe there's a Jamaican store near you, buy some
Right.
foods, some fruits, some vegetables, or some spices that you've never seen, and incorporate those into your life.
Right.
Eat the rainbow, try to eat, every day, try to eat 6, 7, 8 different colors of food. Okay.
Right.
Food, the coloring of foods, those are nutrients. Okay.
Right.
Those
Right.
all help you be healthier. Meditation is good.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting is good for the gut health.
It was one of my other questions, actually. I mean, I
Yeah.
could question you all day. Right.
Yeah. I have my clients do 16 and 8 intermittent
Right.
fasting.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Feeding. Yeah. Well, you told me earlier that you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Well, my first thought when you told me that, I was like, well, you should stop eating breakfast.
Well, when I eat breakfast at 11, lunch at 2, and then dinner at 7.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, there you go. Then that's an 8-hour feeding window.
Right.
That's good.
Right. Right.
I normally only eat like 2 meals a day. But I also had another client who was saying, well, I only eat 1 meal a day. I'm healthy, healthy, healthy. I'm like, well, no, it's not, because what happens is then you get a giant insulin spike. Okay.
Mm.
And one of the reasons for fasting, it causes, autophagy, which is the digestion of senescent cells. Senescent cells are old cells. You have 70 trillion cells in your body. They're all born, they live, they die. We have cell turnover every day. Millions and millions and millions, if not trillions of cells are dying in you every day.
Right.
When they get old and don't work as well, they're not as efficient. They make bad products or they do bad things. So when you have autophagy, your body says, all right, well, let's kill these old cells, recycle what's inside them that still works, and make new ones. Same thing happens with mitochondria. Okay. Mitochondria are the powerhouses of your cells, the little nuclear reactors of your cells. Mitochondria can actually divide without cells dividing because they have their own DNA in them. Okay.
Right.
It's really, really neat. Mitochondrial science is amazing. But what happens is when you fast, you have mitophagy, which is the destruction, the self-eating of these crappy, for lack of a better word, these bad mitochondria cells that are old and dying.
Right.
They're not as efficient. So you get mitophagy. Okay. When you get mitophagy, you get rid of the old mitochondria. You then have mitogenesis. You make more mitochondria. Okay.
Right.
And they're more efficient, they're better, and you have more of them. So now you have more energy and you have less oxidative stress, because the old mitochondria are making oxidative stress, because the byproducts of energy is
oxygen.
Oxidation.
Right.
Yeah. And so basically the mitochondria are just like combustible engines. Your car has a combustible engine in it. You put gas in it, it gives you energy by driving, but there's an exhaust. Okay. That exhaust is poisonous and it kills you. Same thing happens with your mitochondria. It shoots out, free radicals. Okay. Those are ameliorated.
What is it called?
Antioxidants.
What was it in biology, high school biology, ATP? What is it?
Yep.
Krebs cycle.
The Krebs cycle.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And so, that is super, super, super duper important. And it's when you are healthy and nutritious, your Krebs cycle is working better. There's a lot of things that can inhibit your Krebs cycle, or, one of the biggest things that a lot of people are on, and I tell everybody, you got to get off of this medication. And it really infuriates me that a lot of these GI doctors put people on proton pump inhibitors for years. Okay. So again, like the Krebs cycle in the mitochondria, you also have a electron transport chain in the mitochondria, which help you get energy. You put, you put a substrate into the mitochondria, and out the other end comes ATP. ATP energy. Without ATP, we're all dead in seconds. Okay. You make something like 50 or 60 pounds of ATP every single day. Think about that.
Wow.
That's a lot of ATP every day.
Wow.
But in order for the mitochondria to make ATP to give you energy, you have the Krebs cycle, but you also have the electron transport chain. The electron transport chain is doing exactly what it says. It's transporting electrons and protons, right? Via a pump. Okay.
Right.
That pump.
So the proton pump inhibitor.
Proton pump inhibitor.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
And so one thing that people don't know is that proton pump inhibitors, if you are on proton pump inhibitors chronically, you have a markedly elevated risk, if you have a heart attack or a stroke, to have a worse outcome, because you don't have the mitochondria working efficiently. Right. So, that's what, and you cannot just stop a PPI. Okay. If you, omeprazole is the most, famous one. If you stop that today, you will regret it for weeks, because it's inhibiting the proton pump inhibitor, which is making, stomach acid. So when you take away the inhibitor, your body's going to be like, yeah, let's go. And it's going to make a ton of stomach acid, and you're going to feel terrible. So people need to wean off of that very, very slowly over the course of maybe like 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks even.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a big thing.
Okay. Well, Robert, Dr. Floyd, this has been very interesting. I was really looking forward to this, and you have not disappointed at all. It is such a complex topic, right? And so many things to understand, and also to understand what Western medicine is doing and what the standard American diet is doing to us. My takeaway personally, because like I said, we eat quite a bit of vegetables. We don't eat as many fruits. If we do, we're eating berries. We eat quite as many vegetables, but we do eat a lot of dairy. And so I am going to try now to eat less and less cow dairy, more and more goat and sheep. And when it comes to the yogurt, maybe I'll speak to Andre and we'll look for coconut milk yogurt. And what was the other one? Coconut milk and almond milk yogurt?
Almond milk, macadamia milk.
All right. And then we'll get rid of the peanut butter as well.
Absolutely. And you can get goat kefir, sheep kefir. Yeah, it's all out there. So
I look, the clinic I work at in the afternoon is right beside a natural health store, which is where I got the kefir, but I did not take a good look to see if it was goat, sheep, or cow. I just looked to see that it was plain and had no sugar.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah. And that's one thing that people don't understand. If you look at, let's say, almond yogurt, if you look at the plain versus the vanilla, vanilla tastes awesome, right?
But it's got lots of sugar.
It's got a ton of sugar in it to help it taste better. So, you need to learn how to figure out how to enjoy less sweet things. And, sugar, high fructose corn syrup is the devil's.
It's bad. Now you mentioned artificial sweeteners. So I know like sugar twin and all that kind of stuff. Now, but some of the people in the keto world, they're talking about things like monk fruit sweetener.
Not a bad thing. No, monk fruit and stevia are good sweeteners. They're great. Sweeteners.
So there are some sweeteners that are okay. And then another one that I particularly like is Swerve.
I don't know that one.
I believe I can never pronounce it, erythritol with fats. Yeah, but it's in the keto world, they accept it. They consider it a keto friendly.
It's a sugar alcohol, right? And I don't think sugar alcohols are very good for you. Some people can deal with them. Some people it makes them sicker than snot. They just don't feel good. Again, life is multifactorial. It's taken me 53 years to figure out life is not black and white. It's very, very gray. And the black and white is just on the very edges, and in between is all gray. So what may work for you may work well. Sugar alcohols can work for you. sugar alcohols might not work for, me or your husband, Andre.
Right,
It makes you
right,
feel terrible, but if it
right.
works for you, it works for you. I would personally, it's exactly what it says. It's a sugar alcohol. So it's
Okay.
alcohol. It's
I
got
will take a closer look.
on it.
I will take a closer look to see what it is, but otherwise I've never tried monk fruit sweetener. So perhaps I'll look at that.
Yeah.
Anyway, where can my clients find you? Because I do have quite a few clients. One of the key things, I mean, my program is about hip and knee osteoarthritis and lessening people's pain and improving their strength and function. And it's coming very much from the physical therapy world of exercise. But I do have a lot of clients who do have weight to lose, myself included, and want to lose weight. So where can we find you? I am going to send them the brochure you sent me, but if you just give us your URL, your contact details.
Yeah, there's Dr. Floyd's Leaky Gut Solution on YouTube. A lot of good information, some videos on there. www.trimdownpowerup.com is my webinar. It's about 40-minute webinar to help kind of get people to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
There is, they can reach out to me at www.chatwithdrfloyd.com, ChatWithdrFloyd.com,
Right.
FLOYD. There is drfloyd.org. That's drfloyd.org. That's my other personal website, my medical website. I'm trying to think what else. And then Dr. Floyd MD on Facebook.
Okay, excellent. It has been a real pleasure. I really appreciate taking the time on this Easter weekend. Are you celebrating at all?
No, I'm working. I'm putting trees and lots of trees. My wife, we're gonna have a nice little, we might have her grandma and aunt over for dinner tomorrow night, but we're so busy. I'm putting trees into my property, and I've been spending a lot of time working out on the property. I have a small 9-acre ranch. I do sheep, goats. No goats. I do sheep.
So
and chicken.
soon you're gonna have your own cheese making?
No, I don't. I'm not milking my sheep. Thank you very much.
No.
But no, I do a farm to table. We do butcher our sheep, and I sell them very very selectively to friends and family. But we have, we got a bunch of meat chickens that we're going to butcher here, because if I'm eating meat, I want it to be sustainable,
right.
Pasture raised and organic, antibiotic free.
Right.
And I'm not a big fan of factory farming. It's despicable, disgusting, and it's a terrible blight on America, on the world. It's bad for the animals, and it's bad for the people who eat those animals, and it's bad for the workers too.
Right.
So if I can, one of the things I've learned is how to boycott stuff and not support them is to not give them your dollar. And so if I can avoid giving factory farming my dollar, it's, I vote with my dollars. So
sometimes it's better to come from the third world, because it's not quite as bad. It's more old school and less commercialized and less I don't know how to say it, less influenced by.
It's smaller scale. Oftentimes.
Yeah. Smaller scale, less toxins, eat off the land, that kind of stuff. And whatever. So my goal is to get back there, even if I go for 6 months out of the year. Right.
That you'll probably be healthier. So
yeah. Okay.
Well, Suzie, thank you very much. It's been an honor to be here. I really hope you and your clients get something out of this. I'm sure they will.
They will. They will for sure.
I love sharing my knowledge, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to make the world a better place. So.
Right. Excellent. Have a great weekend, or rest of your weekend, and we'll see you in HBA.
All right. Excellent. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful Easter weekend.
Okay. Take care.